Since it's been a while since my last video, I put together this one containing everything I needed to address inside and underneath the front trunk. As far as the floor goes, there were just two areas in the far right and left corners that needed to be cut out and replaced. Otherwise, it's pretty solid. Part of what I had to cut away on these corners has this beveled curve, which would be a little difficult to fabricate out of flat steel. But this particular curve is found on many areas of the floor and even in the rear trunk, where I've needed to replace sections with aftermarket repair panels. And there was just enough material left over that I didn't use that I could repurpose in areas like this one. On the top side now, I needed to remove the entire headlight assembly in order to access the headlight bucket underneath. Also, I didn't expect these bezels to be in such poor shape, and so I'll have to address that later. I found the most difficult thing to remove here was this actuator arm from the headlight frame. I wasn't really sure the proper way to remove these, so I just kind of forced this pin out. One thing I thought was a little odd is that these headlight eyebrow trim pieces are only held on with rubber grommets. Once I started disassembling the other side, I found that if I would have disconnected the arm here, I could have slid it off the pin without having to force it. Most of this edging around the headlights was rusted out beyond repair, but 914 rubber has very good replacement pieces for these, and you can cut whatever lengths you need out of them. Here I'm trying out this OSPHO rust treatment liquid. In other areas I've used a similar product but in a gel form. Other than the headlight area, the other bad spots were the corners by the hood hinges. And these are all the areas I needed to replace with new trim pieces. Most of these areas are actually 2 layers sort of crimped together originally. So you're kind of doubling up on the sheet metal when you replace these in order to get to the original height for the hood seal to fit properly. This is kind of a waste of these Dremel metal cutting discs. I think they're like $20 for about 12 of them. But they work so well and so quickly in these tight areas as long as you're pretty careful. Now, despite these headlight buckets being so full of debris, these upper parts on both sides were not in too bad a shape. So there's also this cavity underneath which this drain tube runs through, and it seems like a nice place to collect water over the decades from failing hood seals. And there's really no access to it other than this hole, which you can't even fit your hand in, and one 2-inch hole in the front behind the bumper. So I decided the only way I was going to be able to treat this was to cut out this section completely, treat the rust, and weld it back in. I have no idea how other people with 914s have done this. I really haven't found anyone else do a video on this particular repair or even talk about it much in forums. This little spot here is likely how the moisture was able to run down into this cavity in the first place. Since it's completely hidden, I just tacked a piece in place and then sealed it off with seam sealer. This is the inside now, welded around completely and coated with rust reformer paint. The other side wasn't too bad. I only needed to cut out one long piece on one side to be able to get a brush inside with rust reformer gel. As always, thanks for checking this video out. If you found this level of detail helpful to see what's ahead of you in case you also need to do this type of repair, go ahead and subscribe if you haven't already. Thanks for watching.